All right, let's get right into it. Now, this is not so much odd news, more like charming news. Perhaps you didn't know this, but in many areas around the country, they have a specific day called Drive Your Tractor to School Days. And as you can imagine, it's mostly rural areas and mostly in the Midwest. But Drive Your Tractor to School Day, otherwise known simply as Tractor Day, is a tradition that goes back decades. It takes place every February and it signifies or marks the end of National Future Farmers of America Week. I went to high school in Iowa, and our high school wasn't really a lot of farm kids. Well, it was really none, I guess. There might have been a few, but that would have been so cool. Some of these snotty kids with their BMWs and at that time their high-end Camaros and Trans Ams and all that. It would have been cool if some of the farm kids rolled up in these expensive tractors they have these days. Some of these tractors, guys, are hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, that would have been cool if they come rolling up to the school parking lot in a $250,000 combine. Now, that would have made you the cool kid, and then taking kids for rides in the or maybe have like a tractor with a shovel on the front, and then take the pretty girls for rides in the shovel. Like they could sit in the shovel part and you drive around and then you lift them up in the air and lower them, and it's a good time. All right, drive your tractor to work day. There you go. All right, here we go. Still NPR. We're sticking with NPR. Headline: Oregon cops remind people of the city. Remind people of Oregon, don't call the emergency line if you run out of toilet paper. This comes from the police department in Newport, Oregon. The spokesperson said on their spokesperson said on Facebook, we don't even believe that we have to tell you this. Please do not call 911 if you run out of toilet paper. Then they said old sailors used to use rope. Which is true. Seamen in the old days, they would use old rope. That's why they call it the head. If you didn't know that, on a ship, the front of the ship is called the head. Well, that's where you used to go. You used to go to the front of the sailing ship, and they had these places you could sit so you could do your business. And the action of the water sloshing and slooshing through that area would clean out everything. Hence the name, the head. So they're saying that old sailors used to use rope, and in ancient Rome, they would put a sea sponge on a branch and then soak it in salt water. That just sounds like it would sting. And of course, this being Oregon, this is again the town posting on Facebook. They said we're on the coast, so there's plenty of seawater, so you don't need. This is the police department posting on Facebook. You don't need to call 911. We will not bring you toilet paper. I have to tell you this story. I had this rental car. This is about 2 months ago, and maybe 3 months ago. And I had this toilet paper, and I knew that I had scratched the panel below the passenger's door. And I was turning the car in, but I forgot that I had this toilet paper in the back. I meant to take it out before turning it in, of course, but it was a couple of, let's say, two 24-hour, maybe they're 12ers, maybe two 12er rolls. I thought they were bigger than that. So let's say 24 rolls. So we're going around. It was a pretty big scratch. I didn't have time to even try to get it fixed or fake fix it or whatever. So I just thought I'll take the hit, you know. So the guy goes around the car and he sees it, and I just admitted it. He goes, "Was that there when you picked up the car?" I said, "Well, when I picked up the car, it was brand new." It was like 2 miles on it. Now, I still could have got a scratch, I guess, right? I opened up the trunk to make sure I had all my stuff, and I saw the toilet rolls there. And so I say to the guy that was examining the car, I say, "Hey, listen, I forgot to take these out. You can have them. You can just have them." He goes, "Are you sure?" And this is at the time when toilet paper rolls were like diamonds in their value. But I couldn't take them with me. I just couldn't, because I just couldn't do it. Yeah, I just couldn't take them with me. So I said, "You can have them." So he still has the form out that he was going to charge me $100, and he draws a line through it. He draws a line through it, and he goes, "Well, I guess we're even then." And he picks them up. He picks up the toilet paper rolls and he puts them in his car, which was right there in the parking lot. So it got me out of paying for the scratch. All right, I lost the plot. Here. What are we doing? How come I'm rambling? Golly, we're losing viewers, people. I need a director. I really need a director. Here. Why Japan? Sorry. So here's an interesting article. Why America is losing the toilet race. National Public Radio, February 25th. Japan has rethought the bathroom. How come America has not? Person says I'll tell you who it was. Greg Rosalsky, Rosalsky. He said he just got back from Japan and loves the place because of the great food, the volcanoes, the landscapes, the great people, the culture, but also the toilets. Japanese toilets are great. I'm paraphrasing here. They have bidets built in. Now, if you don't know what a bidet is, you sit on the you do your business on the toilet, and then if a bidet is a separate appliance, it looks like a toilet, kind of like, but it's like a mini bathtub, and you sit on it, and then it sprays water into your private bits, and then you either dry it with a towel or whatever, pat it dry with paper towel. I'm not really sure. Oh, it says here, bidet. A lot of bidets these days have dryers, so they dry your privates. But this is what he's saying is in Japan, they have mastered the art of the integrated bidet. So you don't have to go anywhere. You just stay seated, and then it squirts water on you so that you can get off like a mini shower, basically, for your privates. And then it's much more efficient, much more clean, much more cleanliness. So he's saying in Japan, these combined toilet bidets are everywhere you go. And most of the homes have them, and that it's fantastic. He loves it. So when he came back to the States, he's like, "Oh my God. Oh, we have the worst toilets. No heated seats, no deodorizer, no deodorizer that gets emitted by the toilet bidet, and no bidet, no clean water spraying on your privates and cleaning everything up. It's archaic. And I've actually heard this argument before by a woman who was trying to market bidets in the United States, and I think she's still doing it. She was saying that, the toilet paper method that we use is just gross. And no one would do it that way, and it's a waste of paper. But anyway, let me see. U.S. toilets is quoting a president at Toto USA, which markets a version of the Japanese toilet slash bidet. A guy named Bill Strang, S-T-R-A-N-G, Strang. Sorry, Bill. Sorry, William. How did they ever get Bill out of William? Like Will and then Bill. Like, how did the Bill come in from the name Will? Quote, U.S. toilets are effectively bedpans with a drain, he said. He had his first experience with a bidet 17 years ago, and although he approached it originally with apprehension, once you experience it and find out what it's about and how it works and your initial anxiety over water being sprayed on you, I guess. I'm just not quoting him here. I'm just saying. It has to be kind of an odd feeling, water spraying on you from below a toilet. At first, you'd be like, that thing is faulty. This toilet is faulty. There's water coming back up onto me. So he started marketing his version of a toilet slash bidet and has been at it ever since. So they are saying that they go through the different reasons why it's so popular there and not here. And they said one of the biggest things is that it's just a cultural difference, because in Japan, they prize hygiene and cleanliness so high. Everything is completely spotless. I've never been there, but when you see the pictures of it, everything is completely clean. Everything is done with cleanliness, efficiency. So this is the kind of culture that the bidet would be a hit. So does that just mean we're a bunch of knuckle draggers over here? I think it's just however a country develops. They're an older culture, and we're not that far from the Wild West. We were just, what are we, like 200 some years old? So we were out there in the frontier. There wasn't any bidets. Maybe there was. Maybe you could hire a bidet person, a bidet manager, bidet management. What experience do you have that you believe could be of value to our company? Well, for 5 years in the 1860s, I was the bidet manager in a spa in the mountains just west of Denver, in one of the most exciting and popular resorts in the New West of the United States. Oh, very nice. Okay. At the end of the article, they say there just hasn't been a demand for this in the United States. However, this is Bill Strang again. He says, however, there also was not a demand for the iPhone at one time. Good point, Bill. Well, the only thing, I wouldn't be against it, but I guess I just don't know enough about it. Like, once you're all wet from this bidet spraying on you, how do you, and I think I looked it up once. They said, there's like paper towels and, or regular towels, like small towels that you dry off with and then put the small towel in a basket, I guess. But if it's the paper towel route, well, that's just burning up paper anyway, right? But I guess you'd be cleaner. So there you go, covering the toilet bidet market. I think it's just education. And, I remember also, I think it's just custom. You just get used to doing things a certain way, and it works, and it works good enough, and people can just go with it. I saw a guy, it reminds me a little bit of, at least in terms of that view of the way things work and custom. There was some guy on the Shark Tank that was pitching a new cardboard box, and that was more efficient than the standard cardboard box, and folded better, folded easier, and took up less space. So therefore, you could put more boxes on a pallet. Had all these benefits, but the sharks were like, well, this is what's impossible. I mean, how are you going to do this? Because you're going to have to change everything about the economy, because the pallets are a certain size to accommodate a certain size of boxes, and then the pallets are a certain size to go into a certain size of container, shipping container. It's this whole the guy's idea, got blew apart, not because of necessarily the functionality of the box itself, but how it fit into the ecosystem of billions and trillions of dollars of investment in the existing containers and pallets. So there you go. Sometimes great ideas get shunted when custom and tradition and habit are entrenched. All right, here you go. All right, people in Virginia, this is exciting. NPR is reporting that a 100-year-old law has just been turned back by lawmakers in Virginia, a law against cursing. You can now curse. You can let those F-bombs go. Let them go, man. It used to be you might get a misdemeanor. Wow. And, a fine of a few $100s. So that's not cheap. But it has been illegal in Virginia since the late 1700s. That's a long time. If you're a Virginian and you've been holding back since 1790, well, I mean, golf clap to you for holding back, because now you can let it fly. How many people in Virginia are just running outside right now to swear at the top of their lungs? I've been holding it back. Now, back in the 1700s, they cost you 80 cents. The fine was 80 cents. Can you imagine, how sometimes you have these rich people, they get speeding tickets and they don't care because they have the money. I wonder if they had any rich people back then would just swear their head off. They didn't care. Because this is Virginia, right? So they'd be swearing about the Union. Those damn Yankees, blah, 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 F-bomb, S-bomb, F-bomb, GD bomb. Let's see, it'd be something like Benjamin, that's outrageous, what you just said. I'm arresting you. You're under arrest, Benjamin. You're under arrest. You just said 27 swear words, and you owe us 80 cents times 27. Let's make it easy. You did 30 swear words. You did 30 swear words times 80 cents. You owe the Commonwealth of Virginia $24. $24, Benjamin. And Benjamin's like, oh, well, will you take a check? Did they have checks back then? Will you take a check? And then he writes the check and then tears it off and just throws it in the air so it floats to the ground. Off with you. Off with you. Here you go. A train on a bridge. It turns into a luxury hotel. So we have to figure that out. Why is the train stopped on a bridge? A hotel in South Africa is a train. Well, they're train cars, okay, that are permanently parked on this bridge in South Africa. And then they converted them into rooms. And it's a luxury hotel. But if you've ever, just looking at it, if you've ever seen train trestles, have you ever seen train trestles, like a bridge just for trains with the one track? They're not real wide. So how are the people going to get onto these? So how are the people going to walk out to the luxury bridge? But I guess the views are pretty killer, looking at the photo here. So, all right. Train on the bridge. That's what it's called. Here we go. Chicken makes an escape in the trunk of a person working for Instacart. What was this, at a chicken farm? The chicken's like making an escape. He's sneaking out. Instacart is they deliver groceries, if you're not familiar with it. So this person was delivering groceries. And the chicken jumped in the trunk of his car. Oh my God. Drive! Get me out of here. Also, UPI, loose python found wandering Ontario City. Wait, let's do it again. A python was found wandering around a city in Ontario. How do these snakes get out? Like, oh man, there's always, once a month, there's a story about some giant snake roaming around a city. What are they doing? What do these snakes do all day in these cities? It's always downtown. It's never in the suburbs. It's never in a small town. It's always a giant snake in a downtown area. What do they do? Do they go shopping? Do they get on the subway? What is there to do? If you're a snake, there's not that is. I guess there's rats that they can eat. Like in downtown LA, there's rats everywhere. And I suppose if you're a snake, that's like plenty of things to eat. So maybe that's what they do. They just try to find food all day. But even that, once you eat, don't you want to go to Nordstrom or go to Macy's and do some shopping, get some gifts? Don't you have relatives? Don't you have things to do? Don't snakes have things at home that need to be fixed, where they need to go to Home Depot and pick up some stuff? I'm really curious about the life of snakes. Let's look at Yahoo. It's funny because I've looked at these different news sources and their news pages. UPI, the one we were on, is one of the best, but some of them aren't so good. They're just like, they're not, it's like the not odd news pages. But this is Yahoo. Let's see what they got. Elon Musk makes fun of Tesla short sellers by offering shorts on his website. Shorts, of course, everybody knows what those are. Very short shorts. If you don't know, short sellers are people that, instead of investing in a stock expecting it to go up, they put in a bet, more or less, that it will go down. So Elon Musk making fun of people saying his company will devalue by offering shorts. All right, it's mildly amusing. Now this is a good story. I'm just laughing from the headline. Some police pulled over what they thought was a impaired driver, under the influence, on a highway in the U.S. However, they were surprised that the driver was 5 years old. All right, so I'm looking at the video of this situation. So it's an SUV in Utah. It's a 4-lane freeway. And the cops are following this SUV. He's going slower than regular traffic, and he's kind of weaving. So they thought he was an impaired driver. He pulled over in the left shoulder. This is a split highway. 2-lane split highway with a median, and they're pulled over in the left side. You're seeing the policeman go up to the SUV door. Let's see if he pulls the kid out here. I'm clicking ahead. And there he is. It's a kid. But wait, he's 5. How does he reach the pedals? How did he know to pull over? I guess you just know to pull over. Oh my Lord, a 5-year-old took an SUV. And so the Lamborghini comes in because they talked to him. He said he was on his way to go buy a Lamborghini. He said his parents left him alone at home. And he had previously had an argument with his mother, who had explained to him that she was not going to buy him a Lamborghini. So once they left him alone, he got in the car, he started it up, and he was going to drive to California to get one of his own. This is in Utah. And they said he only had $3 on him. I mean, you got to give the kids some credit. Golf clap. Golf clap. This is Reuters again. Because of the quarantine in Colombia, this is the opposite of what I was just talking about. There's been a skyrocket in sex toy sales. One guy that runs a sex toy shop was very happy when he put up a banner that said "sold out." They said the country is normally very conservative. I always think that's funny. You know, you read about parts of the conservative parts of the United States. Oh, this conservative state. And then you read that it's like one of the highest consumers of porn. You're like, are they really that conservative? Maybe out in public they're conservative. Yeah. Explosion in sales during the lockdown. The sales started going up immediately when the quarantine started, this sex toy shop owner says, and kept going up. And now I'm sold out. How are you sold out? How can they buy? What? They can't order some more? Wait, you're telling me that you generated revenue from the time that the quarantine started, let's call it March or even April. So you're selling. Money is coming in. You have the cash to buy more product. And is this one of those where the toy retailers would always say, oh, you can't get the Cabbage Patch Kid. You can't get the hot toy of the Christmas season. They're sold out. They're not sold out. They got a factory full of them. They're just withholding them. Is that what this guy's doing? Is this guy withholding sex toys from the good people of Colombia with a fake sold out notice? Why? Why would you do that, sir? Why are you not taking the revenue of previous sales and buying more products to keep the people of Colombia satisfied with their sex lives, with some fine toys that you offer? I don't know that that's what you're doing, but it kind of looks that way. I'm just saying, if that's the case, I'd like you to reconsider. I'd like you to buy more inventory and get rich. You should be getting rich right now. You should be calling the United States and China or wherever they're making the toys and buying plane loads and ship loads. You should be the sex toy king of Colombia. There you go. There's no extra charge. It's got a beautiful ring to it. The sex toy king of Colombia. Sir, I usually charge $10,000 for a day of consulting for this kind of genius. And I'm offering it to you at no charge. From here, it's all up to you. Guys, let's call that a wrap. Let's end on sex toys. This gentleman in Colombia, the sex toy king of Colombia, will be our final entry in today's Odd News Roundup. So I hope you enjoyed this bike ride. Come on back. There's so much going on in the Joe Ditzel Has Some Problems world.